Hello and welcome to Musical Listening, to another episode of The Way They Listen. Today we're very lucky to have Benedetta Orsi, so stick around. Welcome to Musical Listening. This channel, one of our devotions here is bringing you closer to classical music, deepening your listening experience with classical music. And we're very lucky here to have mezzo-soprano Benedetta Orsi. Welcome, Benedetta. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Clay. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. We're very, very fortunate to have you here in St. Louis, and you've become one of our treasures here. So we appreciate you being here.
It's a pleasure, really.
Any of the things that we talk about here in the show, you can find links in the description, including links to her new album that has just come out, which we're going to talk about. So stick around. The way you listen, the way I listen, it is so different. It's not black and white. We'd love to think that it's black and white, but it's so different for everybody. How do you think about that as a professional and as a professional singer? How do you think about listening, at such a high level? So
sometimes when you put something that is different, that is new, that you're not used to listen to, I listen to the first time just with my ears. So trying to understand if there's a feeling that the piece transmits me, or if there's something particular that I can capture from that. And then after I finish the first piece, after I finish to listen to that, if it's an opera, I just take the libretto, I read better the story, I try to get into that, and then I listen again to the piece. The most beautiful thing that I discovered is in kids, when they listen to something, it's just really pure emotion. So you see someone that is like, oh my God, this is so wonderful, someone that cries. When I was little and I was going to church, I was always crying when I was hearing the organ playing. And I really don't know why.
Wow.
Yes.
And I was listening to your album here, and I want to play a little bit, actually, because I've played this music from Carmen. As a cellist, I played it in orchestra and played the orchestral suite, and love it. Just it's great music, but had never actually looked up the text, and so I was looking at it. Can we just play? I want to play a little bit here.
I'm very happy to say that the album won the gold medal at the Global Music Awards in Los Angeles. So has best album and best female vocalist. So I'm very, very happy about it. It was recorded in Italy, in my own country, so it was even a plus. And edited by Lehman Music, that is one of the biggest recording label in Italy that works with the artists of La Scala Theater. So I was very, very honored to work with them, and we're already thinking of a second album, and I really hope that can happen soon, that I can fly back there and work on something new.
So fantastic. It sounds so effortless and so fun, and we've heard it so many times, and we love this song. But then I get out the text and I'm watching it go by and listening to this melody. How in the world could you detach yourself from technique? You say, like, oh, you just leave all that behind and sing. How?
So, for example, this is a perfect example, actually, because here you really need to think of what you're saying, because as it's a very fast, as you said, it's a kind of a flamenco rhythm. It's so fast and it's so spoken. It needs to be really spoken so you can transmit exactly the emotions and what you're saying. So, but at the same time, you're so into the words because you know them very much and very well that the emotions come out at the same time. This is an example of a mix where you cannot get disattached to the words. Carmen is a big example where you cannot be disattached from the words. You really need to be in contact with what you're saying.
Wow. Can we, there's another, can we play the habanera here?
Of course.
Oh, thank you. Love this. And a reminder that you can click the links down there to find this album and go and listen to it and go and purchase it. This is something that happens in instrumental music. Sorry, I ask about that because that's my background, but I'm so curious,
of course,
to find out, because we do all this dance music and we have these dance suites, like the Bach cello suites and all these dances. How does habanera, being this dance and being so rhythmical, how does that inform your singing of it?
It helps a lot because you really can feel the rhythm inside you. So automatically you feel you want to dance. And in that moment, it works on stage because she's coming out and she's dancing on stage. She's flirting with everyone. So it's a composition, a unification of the melody, the dancing, the rhythm, the words. So she's flirting. And what's the best way to flirt with a dancing melody? So they really work together. And but there's a funny story. I never liked habanera since a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
The first time I sang habanera, I was like, I really don't like this piece. Why everyone thinks that Carmen is such a great piece? I'm not enjoying it. And so my way of studying the habanera was very schematic, very technical with the voice, that I couldn't find a way to interpret it better. And then it was when I had to finally perform it that I started digging more into the story, digging more into the character. Also, I don't consider myself a femme fatale or a flirting woman or a sexual woman. I mean, I'm a very shy woman. So singing Carmen for me was a very, very long work on myself, on my personality, trying to find that pepper, if we can say that Carmen needs to be on stage. And I guess I found it because the reviews were great and it came out very well. And now I finally can enjoy the habanera, and I finally can disattach from reading just note by note as I was doing before.
Specifically to that, how does the reading and the study help you take on the character of Carmen, since that's not, your natural, way of being?
So it helps because if you study the character, you finally have you figure a person in front of you and you say, okay, I need to achieve this character. I need to achieve this person. I need to work on my own personality and reach that. Sometimes it's so stupid, but I put myself in front of a mirror and I'm trying flirting with my expressions on my face while I'm singing. And I say it's stupid, but it's not at the same time, because you can see yourself and you're the best judge. So if you look at yourself while you're singing, you can feel stupid and you say, okay, this is not the way. Or finally, you can see yourself like a flirting person and you say, okay, this can be a facial expression that I can use. This can be a musical expression that I can use, because at the same time, music helps you. I mean, it's written to be a flirty. So that helps, but it's really, really a long a long process. For me, Carmen has been a very long process to become finally Carmen, and to feel confident to be on stage, flirting with men, kissing men, and dancing. So it takes a while. It takes a while.
That's also, something else really profound. You said the music itself helps you. You said the music is flirtatious. What's flirtatious about it?
It's how it's written. It's how it's written, the melody. And something that singers always do is just to look at their own line. I don't think is a great thing. I mean, you have to dig more into the instrumental part, the accompaniment, what is happening around you, because your singing part is connected to the orchestral part. And when you discover that, you really think, oh, it's not just a melody, it's not just my melody, it's really a music that it works together and it builds everything. So I discovered that when I became a chorus master, because at the same time, to teach a choir, you need to know what the music is doing to help them maybe get a pitch that they don't have in their own line and is dissonant to the other parts. So you look at the instrumental part and finally you say, oh, but come on, the composer wrote that in that specific moment that can help the singer, and that it connects with the singer. It's such a beautiful thing to go over the melodic line of the singer. And unfortunately, not many singers do that. Many does, of course. Many do. So
when you say look at the line, just like looking at it on the whole, like trying to see the big picture.
Absolutely, yes. Yes. Sometimes we focus only on our pentagram, and that's all. And on the words. Okay, I'm done. Sometimes we don't even care of which notes the other person on stage is singing with us, the other characters are singing. But instead you needed to have the entire package. So to know which notes they're singing, to know if you can connect with one of their notes so you can enter easily on a difficult spot. It's really, really, really an entire package, and it's a lot of work, but it's the most beautiful one. And when you do that, you can say that you know the opera, that you're ready to go on stage.
Oh. Can I play one more? I want to play one more song.
You can play an entire album.
I might take you up on that. It's so great. You actually already kind of answered it, but I want to play this song first before I get you to talk about it a little bit more. Right. Hold on. It's so good. And actually this is the song we were talking about Carmen so much, but actually this is the song I kept coming back to and listening. It's so, I mean, it's this gorgeous, beautiful piano introduction, and then it just hands it right off to you, and then you're in this very subtle way, you're just sort of like just carrying it on, and it's so beautiful. You just tell us about the song. It's just gorgeous.
Thank you. But it's true what you're saying. It's really a connection between the music and the singing. So as soon as the piano stops playing, you just join it. And the song is the pleasure of love. So it really talks about how pleasant the love is. And this connection, I believe, is made for a purpose. Martini wrote this music that it connects with the voice just because it's a pleasure. So you just feel it through the music. You just needs to connect with that. And you never need to think to stop a line that you're singing just because the piano is entering. You need to think that your voice line is continuing. So you need to kind of stop your line. Like if you're waiting for someone to respond to you, and in that case it's a pianist.
Wow.
And I was lucky to have an amazing pianist that is a friend of mine, Dragan Babic. I'm so happy I recorded this album with him.
Oh, wow. And I'll remind the audience out there, since we're talking about this song here, we'll put the text down in the description, and a reminder that you can click the links down there to find this album and go and listen to it and go and purchase it. And also down in the description with this text, we'll put a little surprise for you that maybe you didn't know. So make sure you go down there and check out the description. The question I wanted to ask you about this song is, because instrumentalists are always saying, you need to be like a singer, you need to go, carry this line and be melodic like a singer. When we're playing a Mozart concerto or playing a Mozart symphony, it's like you should go listen to an opera. Does that, you kind of already answered this, but how often does that happen in your world, where it's like you're doing this classical air piece, you're doing a Mozart opera, and it's like, well, you should go listen to a violin concerto to understand Mozart? Does that ever happen?
Yes, it does. It does. I mean, another thing, and everyone is gonna think I'm crazy, I never enjoyed Mozart very much when I was younger, and growing up I started liking him much more. And I have to say, I love him more in his instrumental music than in his opera. I've never been a huge fan of Mozart's operas, but I love his instrumental pieces. His symphonic music is something else, really. And at the same time, you listen to that piece and you discover that for me, there's something else of the music. There's something that he put into his composition that goes far from the emotion, brings you to another level of music, brings you to another atmosphere. It's like if you're completely absorbed by the piece. And I felt the same with the Plaisir d'amour. It was really, it takes you out of the music and you're like in a bubble, in a different atmosphere. For Martini, for me, was like being in a painting. I always try to see myself in a different position when I listen to a piece. And so for Mozart is the same. I mean, it brings you to another kind of level of music. Personal perspective, of course.
This has been a keystone of this that you've been talking about. You've been talking about perspective a lot. I mean, it's so amazing and it's so wonderful. I might get you to say something else about that, but let me one more time go back to Carmen. Speaking of perspective, so you met your husband while you were, if I can ask you about that, you met your husband while you were playing Carmen, and so to go and you have a beautiful son now.
Yes.
The two of you, he's so gorgeous. And what's it like emotionally, technically, to go back and record something like that now, with such a different perspective on life?
So I have to tell you that the recording was born as an idea after I met Darwin on stage, because definitely I believe that each person, when finds his soulmate, when finds his partner, develops in a kind of way, emotionally, physically, mentally, develops. So for me, meeting Darwin during Carmen was a huge change, and especially vocally, it was a growing in my in how to transmit my emotions. So when I went to record Carmen, it was completely another level. It was like, now I feel myself a woman, a complete woman, because I've found that other part that completes me. I found that I can be flirty. I found can I be attractive, that I can be loved. So it definitely changed me, and that's why I decided to. The title of the album is La Voix de l'amour, because it's the voice of love, and is how my voice has changed when I found love. So Carmen was definitely. It has to be in the album because I met my husband with that. So it means that I did a good work with that Carmen also.
Wow. Well, the whole, the whole album is great. The whole album is great. It's really wonderful.
I'm very proud of it.
And as people, you've you've given us so many things here to think about with perspective. But as people are listening through the album and listening to more of your recordings, and you have others, we'll link them all down in the description. Again, you can
Thank
go
you.
check those out. What would you say to people that don't know where to go to get a different perspective? And, and not everybody's a professional musician. They want to gain a different perspective on, just they're an avid listener and they want to
Mhm.
have a different perspective. Or maybe they're, still a student in college or even in high school and they want to get a different perspective on music. What would be some suggestions you would give them?
I would say that they should be a little bit curious of what they're gonna listen to. So my album is like a story of love in all the different aspects. Is the love for the country? Is the love for is the lost love? Is the love for your kid? Is the love for your partner? It's the different way that you can discover love. So I guess you just can be a little bit curious in digging into just the lyric, not too much, just taking a libretto and reading through what is the translation of the lyrics, so you just can get a little bit more connect to a language that you don't know. And if instead is your own language, just listen to the words at the same time that you're listening to the music. The plus for a singer is that you can put together, and I already said many times, but it's true, words with music, and you can understand much better the music because it's how the composer brought those together. They really work together and they give you something.
Yeah, that is 100% true. I can tell you from my own personal experience now, looking up all of the text and
Mhm.
to your album, it's great anyway. But then you're right, it is a totally new, wonderful experience
Mhm.
to look at the text. So Benedetta, thank you so much for doing this. So many great things that I know I've learned, and I know that the people watching and listening out there have learned. And so we appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really great. I enjoyed so much talking about my experience and my music and all the background with you. And I hope it can help your listener to understand a different word and a different perspective.
So be sure and click down in the description, go find the album. And hey, if you like this video and you want to see more of them, make sure you hit the subscribe button there. Make sure you hit the notification bell because we will have more of these interviews coming your way. We'll see you next time.